Employee anniversary recognition either can be a moment that reminds you want to have 10 more years with a company, or it can remind you that you don't want to have another. So let's learn how to get it right. In this video, we're going to talk about what role employee anniversary recognition should play in our overall engagement strategy. What are some of the best practices? What are some of the things that you don't want to do that actually send people out the door, and how to avoid them? And some simple things you can do whether you have little or no budget to make sure that you get this right. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Chris Littlefield. I'm the founder of a company called Beyond Thank You. I've spent the better part of 20 years researching and training leaders in the skill of day-to-day appreciation and recognition. How to do the little things that have our people feel seen, heard, and valued so they show up, they feel like they belong, and they do their best work. Okay, so employee anniversary recognition or milestone awards. It's one of those things that's been around for I don't know how many years. When people said, when you've been here for 5, for 10, for 15 years, for 20 years, you get your Rolex and you can get up on stage, have a photo with the CEO, your family comes and it's a big banquet. Those are those moments that people used to really look for. And over the years, every company or most companies kind of put these into their employee recognition strategy. And many times they're the only component of it. Now, the thing is that because we often create a program around them or a system around them, and says you get this, you get a certificate at 1 year, at 5 years, you get to choose between these 3 items. And at 10 years, you get this, and you get a little bit of a bonus and a couple extra days off, and so on and so forth. And we systematize for fairness. But many times in systematizing for fairness, we remove the meaning and the intended impact of doing them in the first place. And the challenge is, what they often do is they reward people for being present in our organization, but they don't reward people for having an impact. And so what happens is people stay around for that next bonus, that next milestone, but they're not necessarily contributing the way we want. And so this is why you just got to be cautious with these programs, because sometimes they reinforce behaviors, actions, and attitudes that are not helpful to our organization. Okay, so with that little caveat aside, so what should be the right intention? With that said, the purpose of these is to give us an opportunity to celebrate people's commitment and loyalty in all those years that they've committed to our organization, to create a moment of reflection, both for the people that have worked with them and give them an opportunity to celebrate their contribution, and also for the individual to look back at the difference that they've made, to reinforce our culture and our values and the people who live and breathe them every single day, and to strengthen that sense of connection and belonging. Because when we see a person that we know represents our values getting celebrated, getting acknowledged, getting lifted up by all their peers, we feel a sense of belonging, they do, and we know we want to stick around here. So that's what these should play, is where day-to-day recognition is the things that show people the actions, attitudes, and behaviors that matter most and help us reinforce them. And that's foundational to performance. Is the employee anniversary recognition are those special moments where we celebrate an individual or group of individuals for the difference they've made over time. And many times there's some sort of reward associated with it. Now, what those are is going to really depend on your organization and its budget. But here's the thing that we want to make sure that we include with it, is we don't want that to just be a generic message that goes out that says, and by the way, I actually heard this exact story 2 days ago, is one woman said, I hit my 5-year anniversary, I received an automated message saying, thank you so much for your amazing time with this organization. Here's a link to click 3 things that you can buy from our employee award catalog. And she goes, it made me feel like nobody even knew I was there. There was no comment from my boss, from my supervisor. Nobody even knew it was my anniversary other than me. And it just felt hollow. And so she then shared, 5 years later, I'm in another organization and I hit my 5-year anniversary and I received individualized message from people I'd worked with across the organization, sharing some of their favorite moments with pictures and comments and videos about the difference in the things they had learned from me. So if you look at those 2 experiences, one of them sent the person out the door and another one had meaning and purpose behind it. And are there softwares that you can use that help automate that? Yes, most of the major recognition solution providers provide the systems to be able to do that, but not everybody has that. But that doesn't mean you can't do something like that. So let's say it's somebody's work anniversary. then one of the easiest things is invite all the people that they've worked with or a bunch of people and said, hey, can you all hop on to Zoom right now? And one at a time, we're going to go in this order. I want you to tell a 1-minute story about what you appreciate about this person. Just hit record and then put that together, add some music and Canva to it. And then you've got that video and that person will love that. Share it in your next all staff to appreciate that person and bring those stories out. And that's what's going to make the biggest difference. Okay. But we just want to make sure that one, we know when each one of our employees' anniversaries are. So when that automated message goes out, then those managers should know about it. We should know about our employees' anniversaries so we can celebrate those people when those moments come up. Then next, when somebody's going out, and maybe it's been 10 years, we don't want it just to be the automated message. We want to do something to be able to feature them. We want people to have the opportunity to recognize them. And although it may be great to get that photo with the CEO and have that banquet, find out what's going to be most meaningful to them. Ask the people that they work with. Hey, what is it they love? What are they into? What do they care about most? And here's one of my favorite stories. So there was a guy, Eric, who was an engineer for a large town out in Ohio. And he goes, one year, what happened is they gave me this service award for my time with the organization. I got this crystal Straff. And I go, where is it, Eric? And he goes, it's on the top of the fridge behind the cereal box. And he goes, was it meaningful to you? He goes, I could care less. He goes, the biggest recognition for me is that when I go out and I fix an area of the town, because he's an engineer. And he goes, when the people come out of their doors and they thank me for the difference that I made and that they've been trying to get this fixed for years and they come out and do that, he goes, that's what's most meaningful to me. So imagine for Eric, instead of spending the money on the crystal Straff, somebody just took photos of all the different projects he's done over the years and maybe asked some of the neighbors and people in the community, what difference did getting these projects done mean for you? And just recording a couple videos and a couple stories and maybe getting some thank you notes written. Would that take a little bit of effort? Yes. But the knowledge, the expertise, the community that that person has built over the years inside that environment, if they get recognized and appreciated for it, they're more likely to keep that expertise with you for years and years to come and to pass that expertise down to the other people who are going to replace them. So if you want to create belonging, if you want to create the kind of experience that has people stick around and keep on showing up and doing their best work, getting those anniversary recognition moments right is critical. And so in this video, I shared a couple things that you can do. And if you want to get better at the art of day-to-day recognition and appreciation, you're going to want to check out my video, Employee Recognition, What Every Manager Needs to Understand First. We'll put a link to that in the description. And if you want some additional resources, then check out my programs and some additional stuff that I have available at beyondthankyou.com. Hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, hit that like, subscribe, and thank you for being the kind of leader or organization that cares to learn and grow.